Hey guys, this is the Prince of Macedon, narrating another commentary battle. The battle's already started, so I'm going to look at the Seleucid army first, commanded by my opponent, ROSENBORG. He's got 8 Silver Shield Pikemen, 7 groups of archers, and 3 squadrons of Cataphracts. I didn't see his general, and I didn't notice any upgrades. And as you can see, he is shifting his Cataphracts to my right, and in response I will shift my cavalry to my right. Now, in this battle I have chosen a rather, I guess, a fun army. It's a historical Pre-Marian Roman army, and this will consist of 4 Hastati, 4 Principes, 2 Triarii, and 2 Equites. Now, all my heavy infantry are gold upgraded, but against Silver Shield Pikemen, that advantage in upgrades won't mean too much, because in a frontal fight, the pikemen will defeat my Pre-Marian units. Now, my strategy right now is to take out those archers somehow and take out those Cataphracts. Only by doing that will I have a chance at outmaneuvering his Silver Shield Pikemen. So in order to do this, I'm going to move my Equites up and try to lure his Cataphracts further away from his archers. And it looks like he has taken the bait for the moment, and I'm going to use my other Equite, swing around his Cataphracts, which are horribly out of position to protect his archers, and I'm going to use the speed of my Equites to swing around and strike those archers from behind. And it looks like my plan might work here. His Cataphracts have actually turned back, and they're going to intercept my Equite, so I have to dodge him out of the way. He's kept his archers on the left safe, but on the right, my Equite unit has managed to strike at 2 groups of archers right there. So he can chase my Equites with his Cataphracts, but he won't be able to protect those archers in time. And it looks like on the way in there, my Equites managed to rout another archer unit, so that's three units of archers down with that one raid. Now, it should be said that a Pre-Marian army is not a very good army to use online, but I thought I'd do this for this battle to make it more interesting for the viewers. And I'm going to move my heavy infantry up a little bit. And by the way, I have all my Principes and Hastati on fire at will mode. That will enable them to fire off their Pila automatically without me having to tell them to do it. And the only advantage I have with my infantry is the Pila. Once I run out of Pila, my guys will be in trouble against those pikemen unless I can outmaneuver them. And as you can see, I have managed to swing around those Cataphracts again, and I have went in for another strike on those archers. In response, he moved his entire line of pikemen backwards to try to ward off my Equites, but he was too slow in reacting. And it looks like with just 2 units of Equites, I have managed to unbalance his entire army there. So perhaps that'll give me some kind of psychological advantage if he thinks he has to keep protecting himself like this. So I have to continue to dodge those Cataphracts. And as Equite, you can keep running like this because the Cataphracts will get tired faster. Alright, so I'm going to dodge those Cataphracts again. I'm going to keep moving my Equites around, trying to keep his Cataphracts, keep him busy, keep him away from my infantry. And just in case, I'm going to move my Triarii back into the 3rd line position behind the Principes, and that'll ward off a Cataphract attack from my rear. And he seems squarely focused on my Equites, which is good for me. Right there you can see me going after another group of archers in the very back. And while he's focused on my cavalry, I'm going to move my Hastati and Principe line up. I'm going to move them within Pila range of his Silver Shield Pikemen. So my key is to focus on the entire battlefield, not just my cavalry. And that's really a key to playing this game. You gotta look at the entire battlefield. Alright, my my Triarii line is kind of far back there. I'm going to move him up behind my Principe line again. There seems to be a Cataphracts unit lingering on my right over there, so I'm going to keep an eye on them for now. Alright, so I'm going to keep harassing him with my Equites. Trying to get more archers here. He still has a significant group left, and you can see me using my Pila now against his Silver Shield Pikemen. And the Pilas will actually cause a lot of devastation to that line. And his pikemen are moving up to engage my Hastati line. Now here come my Equites. I see another opening, and I'm going to strike at his archers again. Now I'm going to start using my Principe line. I'm going to try to use my reserve line right there of Principes to somehow get behind his pikemen. Because that's the only way I can take out those pikemen. A pure frontal assault won't work, even though I have the gold upgrades. Alright, and I have one unit of Equite routing over there. I wasn't able to withdraw him on time, so the Cataphracts actually managed to get them. But I'm under attack with my other Equite unit. I was able to save him. And on the very far right of my infantry line, his Cataphracts have charged into my Hastati, so I'm going to mobilize my Triarii reserve on the right, and I'm going to use them to strike at those Cataphracts. Because if there's one thing Triarii can do well, that's fight cavalry. And also in the center left of my Principe line, another Cataphract squadron has struck into my line there. So I'm going to mobilize my other reserve unit of Triarii. I'm going to try to drive that squadron out. And I'm also going to use my Principes just to be sure. Because if I can take out those Cataphracts, I'm going to have an easier time outflanking his Silver Shield Pikemen. On the far left you can see my Principes are starting to wrap around his left flank. And with my Equite I have struck another archer unit. Alright, I have routed his first two squadrons of Cataphracts, but another one is coming down the center left, where there seems to be a slight kind of a gap there. But luckily my Triarii are right there, and I guess in no time they managed to rout that Cataphract unit. On the left, I have routed his Silver Shield Pikemen, and that is going to free more of my units of infantry to continue to roll up that left flank. And it appears inevitable what's going to happen. I'm going to gather strength as more and more Roman units become free. And that is a classic Roman tactic, is to roll up that flank. Alright, there's some Cataphracts shifting to my left, and I'm going to use my Triarii line and shift them to my left, just to keep them in the same general vicinity of those Cataphracts.
Great gods be praised!
Alright, there goes his general.
The enemy general is killed!
That's a good thing.
Fear makes a home in
I'm going to send another
hearts.
Principe unit to speed up the collapse of his left flank. Ooh, on the center left, that Silver Shield Pikeman unit has routed, and that's caused quite a gap in his line, and that will help facilitate my rolling up of the flank there. Well, I thought I routed that pike unit on the far left, but he's still there. But it doesn't matter because his main line right there is cracking, and he won't be able to stop me from rolling up that flank.
It would be better for your general to fall on his sword than live another day.
Alright, his Cataphracts, which are now depleted, have rallied back, and they are going to try to attack my infantry, but at this point, those Cataphracts won't be able to deal with my infantry with or without my Triarii eyes. And as you can see, by rolling up that flank, his pikemen are starting to rout. I'm going to use my Equites to strike some of those routing pikemen, but I think it's better to hit them while they're running, if you have the available units. And as you can see, he has one unit left of Silver Shield Pikemen, and he has to face my entire line of infantry. That's what happens when you roll up a flank. You can gather strength as you build your momentum. And that unit is done for. And that looks like a GG, good game.